What is up, everyone? This is Prasanna Balakrishnan back again. This time for the season review of Chelsea Football Club. The season is finished, and it has been one hell of a season. A lot of highs, a lot of downs, but ultimately at the end, it's a high because we won the Champions League and we finished in the top four. Yes, we could have finished higher in the league. We could have won the FA Cup as well, but it is what it is, and we go into the season review. Before we go into it, I would like all of you to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more and more content. This is my first upload for today. I will be doing a second upload for my player ratings in another video, and subscribe to this channel for more and more content. I will be doing content on Indian football as well as the Euros as well as cricket, which is further to come. So let us start with going competition by competition. Chelsea, as usual in every season, participated in four competitions: the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the Champions League. We'll first go through the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup was a disappointing one as we went out in the fourth round. Third round, we dispatched Barnsley 3-0. Kai Havertz scoring a hat trick, his first hat trick, and many more goals to come. Tammy Abraham and Giroud also scored in that game, as well as did Ross Barkley. The fourth round, we were drawn to Tottenham away against Jose Mourinho. Frank Lampard was against Jose Mourinho. We took the lead through Timo Werner, who scored his first goal for the club against Tottenham away. But we did not kill the game, and we somehow tried to ride out a 1-0 victory until they equalized in the 85th or 86th minute through Eric Lamela, and we lost on penalties through, and Mason Mount missed, giving Tottenham Hotspur the win. And our Carabao Cup run ended there. As far as one concerned, the Carabao Cup campaign, we can say it has been a failure. Next, we go on to the FA Cup. FA Cup, we were started against Morecambe. We easily beat them 4-0. And then we were drawn against Luton Town. We beat them 3-1. Timo Werner, albeit he missed a penalty, he did provide a crucial assist for Tammy Abraham, who scored. Tammy Abraham actually scored a hat trick against Luton Town, sorry. And then in the next round, we played Barnsley. That was a pretty pathetic performance. We somehow got through 1-0 through another goal from Tammy Abraham, who just kept on scoring in the tournament. And in the quarterfinals, we were drawn to Sheffield United at home. Again, it wasn't a great performance, but we somehow rode our luck and we won the game through an own goal, trying to deflect across from Ben Chilwell, and then Hakim Ziyech finishing off the job later in the game and giving us the 2-0 win. In the semi-finals, it was our biggest game in the FA Cup till date because, let's be honest, it was a pretty easy draw till then. In the semi-final, we played Manchester City. It was always going to be a tough game because Manchester City were Premier League champions, and they were going to be Premier League champions because they had topped the table and they had already won the Carabao Cup before. Or they were about to play the Carabao Cup final. And FA Cup final was like kind of a dress rehearsal for them. But we ended up beating them 1-0. A pretty comfortable, not I would say comfortable result, but we tactically dominated that game. We didn't give City a sniff. We could have had 2 or 3 more goals, but we ended up winning that game 1-0 and progressing to the FA Cup final, where we proceeded to play Leicester City, who beat Southampton in their own semi-final. Now, Chelsea-Leicester's final, obviously it's an FA Cup final, a chance to avenge last season's FA Cup final loss to Arsenal. But unfortunately, we didn't. We lost 2 finals in a row. Leicester won by 1-0 through a superb goal by Yuri Tielemans. I don't know how he got that much space. It was a poor pass from Reece James trying to play out from the back. Leicester got the interception. They were able to pass it to Yuri Tielemans. And then, he somehow had half the length of the pitch to run at and was able to pick out the top corner, Kepa having absolutely no chance. Then we huffed and puffed but couldn't score a goal past them. We did eventually put the ball in the back of the net in the 88th minute. Thiago Silva putting a long ball for Ben Chilwell, who was able to get on the end of it and try to put a cross in and deflected on 2 Leicester players, and it went in the back of the net. Well, unfortunately, that was ruled offside because apparently his shirt sleeve was offside. Yeah, that's VAR for you. Pretty screwed up this time. It's screwed up in terms of English football itself, because the problem is not much of VAR, but I feel it's kind of the incompetence of the refs. And Personally, I do feel that there should be some leeway when you're giving offside, not just by a point 0.1 millimeter or 0.2 millimeter. And you, but it is what it is. We ended up losing the final 1-0, and our season was at the wrong time, picking wrong form. So at FA Cup final, it was a good run till it lasted, but we unfortunately lost the final. Um, we go on to the Premier League next, and this is where it got very, very interesting. Frank Lampard was at the helm at the start. He finished fourth last season and was given a budget. We spent over 200 million on players. Loads of players came in. Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, Edouard Mendy from Rennes. And we went on to a Premier League season. We started decently. We started with a win at Brighton, albeit not the greatest of performance. Reece James with an absolute banger after Brighton had equalized. After Timo Werner was fouled, Jorginho stepped up and scored the penalty to make it 1-0. Then they equalized to another long shot which Kepa couldn't save. I don't know what's the thing with Kepa and long shots. He's just seem he cannot absolutely save them. Second game, it was a massive game. It was against Liverpool at home, the reigning Premier League champions, but we lost to them 2-0. Courtesy Kepa tax as usual. Let's in a goal. And then the second goal they scored through Sadio Mane. Christensen was sent off for a denying a goal scoring opportunity from Sadio Mane. And from that, you were only thinking, oh my God, is this another season where we're just going to scrape top four? And it clearly showed in the next game as well. We were playing West Bromwich Albion away at the Hawthorns, and we were 3-0 down inside the first half. Can you believe it? 3-0 down in the first half. Absolutely ridiculous performance from the team. But second half, we somehow rallied to make it 3-3, but it wasn't good enough as we just got to draw away. Yes, it was a decent comeback, but you do not expect to be 3-0 down to West Bromwich Albion in the first place. No disrespect to them, but I think we should not be 3-0 down to them. And then we play Palace at home. We comfortably beat them 4-0. Jorginho with 2 penalties. Zuma with another goal. Zuma actually started to score a lot of headed goals at the start of the season. At the time, he scored about like 5 or 6 Premier League goals at one point of time. And then we came another game against Southampton at home. We went into a 2-0 lead. We slipped it to make it 2-2. Calamity in defense, but we made it 3-2. But they made it 3-3 right at the end, and it was a disappointing end to that game. And next game was another draw against Man United away. We should have lost that game. We were saved because of Edouard Mendy. And after that, we did go on a decent run. We comfortably beat Burnley away 3-0. We beat Sheffield United at home 4-1. Newcastle away 2-0. We drew at home to Tottenham, although we could have won it. We beat 3-1 Leeds United. At that time, we were actually top of the table, albeit teams below us had games in hand. But at that time, everything was looking comfortable. We were scoring goals. Everything was going well for us in attack, albeit some inconsistencies in defense. But after that, started the dreaded December collapse. We lost against Everton 1-0. It was a pretty disappointing performance. But generally, after a loss, you generally expect a reaction to see that how the team has reacted after a loss. We reacted after a loss against Liverpool. We had a decent run of form. I think we went about 17 games unbeaten, but it just got worse. We lost at home. We lost away 2-0, 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Was another pretty abject performance. We did go into the lead, but at the last seconds, Zuma backed off of Pedro Neto, and he was allowed to shoot, and he scored, and Wolves won it 2-1. We somehow beat West Ham 3-0. It was a flattering scoreline 3-0. It was 1-0 until 75 minutes, and then two scrappy goals in 2 minutes ensure that we won 3-0. Boxing Day, we played Arsenal. This was a chance to avenge them for the FA Cup final. And Arsenal, of all teams, totally outclassed us on the day. They comfortably beat us 3-1. And Lampard's position was kind of, shaky a bit because we lost 3 Premier League games in the last 4 games and we were absolutely out of form. Then we drew Aston Villa 1-1 at home, and then we lost to Man City at home 3-1, despite Man City having like 3 or 4 players out to injuries or COVID. Leicester, we lost to them 2-0. But before that, we somehow scraped the victory at 10 men Fulham, Mason Mount scoring the winner. But the next game, Leicester went 2-0 against us at the King Power Stadium. It was an absolutely convincing performance from Leicester with another abject performance from Chelsea. We had no clue whatsoever. I don't know, at that time our point was just trying to cross the ball into the box and hope someone get a header on it. I don't know what was the tactic at that point. And that proved to be the last straw for Frank Lampard, and he ended up being sacked and replaced by Thomas Tuchel, who immediately came and was in 24 hours was managing against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a nil-nil game, but in that game we recorded a record number of passes, albeit we couldn't take our chances. Next game we beat Burnley 2-0. It was a pretty convincing performance. We couldn't break them down, but goals from Aspilicueta and Alonso, two of the players who actually made a huge impact in a role to finishing top four and winning the Champions League. Aspilicueta scoring the goal in the first half, and Alonso finishing it with an absolutely brilliant header, taking it down, one touch, bang, volley, past the keeper, Nick Pope, who had absolutely no chance. Next game, we beat Tottenham 1-0. It was a very good performance from the team. Thomas Tuchel getting the better of Jose Mourinho that day, scoring through a penalty. Werner again doing good work. He was brought on by Eric Dyer in the box, and Jorginho scored. And that is it. We somehow suffocated the game and we finished 1-0. Next game, it was Sheffield United away. They were pretty much resigned to relegation, but we still had to put in a performance against them. And we did. First half, it was a 1-0. And second half, I don't know what happened. Rudiger and the keeper, Edouard Mendy, went into absolute confusion, and it ended up being an own goal. But just straight afterwards, down the other end, Werner was brought down by Ramsdale, and it was a clear penalty, and we scored, and it was a 2-1 win at the end of the day. Next game was a 2-0 win at home against Newcastle. Timo Werner scoring again for first time in God knows how many months, because it was a barren spell for him. Olivier Giroud getting on the scoreline, and at that point it was looking very good that we were somehow going into top four. Next game was Southampton away. We had a problem with early kickouts. We weren't able to win them. And to be honest, we kind of eked out a 1-1 draw against Southampton. We went behind through Minamino, who was on loan from Liverpool, and Mason Mount equalized in the second half, and we ended up the game with 1-1. Our next game was Man United at home. It was a dull, boring 0-0 draw. United playing for the counter-attack. They hardly did anything on the counter-attack. We had like a couple of chances, particularly the one with Hakim Ziyech in the second half, which we hit straight at the hair around the 60th minute mark. We had to score that to win, but we didn't. And after that came a range of tough games. Liverpool away, Everton at home. Then it was Leeds United. But we somehow managed to get through them. We beat Liverpool 1-0 away, courtesy of a fantastic goal from Mason Mount and a wonderful defensive performance. Liverpool didn't even have a shot on target till the 85th minute. That's how superbly defensive we were. We were keeping Salah and the likes of Mane so quiet, because we all know what great players they are and they're superb players. Next game, Everton 2-0, pretty comfortable result. Havertz with a fantastic performance. He assisted on the first goal. It was given as an own goal, and second half he won a penalty which Jorginho converted. Next game was Leeds United away. We earlier beaten them in the season, but this time we couldn't beat them. It was another early kickoff, the curse of early kickoffs, I know. And we somehow managed to scrape an inlet draw, if we're being honest, because Edouard Mendy had to make a couple of great saves in order to get that 1 point for us. Next game, it was West Bromwich Albion at home, another early kickoff, and we lost that game 5-2. Yeah, you heard me say that right. Chelsea lost to West Bromwich Albion 5-2 at home. It was an absolutely pathetic display. We were nowhere in the races. We went in the lead, but after Thiago Silva got sent off for a second yellow card, we were nowhere in the game. West Brom completely overran us. The likes of Pereira, Callum Robinson scoring for fun. Callum Robinson this season has scored plenty of goals against us. We don't have West Brom tax next season. But we came back strongly against Crystal Palace away next game, as we absolutely tore them to shreds. 3-0 up in the first half, and we won the game 4-1. And at that point, it only looked as if this was a minor blip, the West Brom game. The next game was Chelsea at home to Brighton. Now, this game was surrounding the whole European Super League thing. And I kind of understood that because the players were not up to the races. The coach kind of looked frustrated. And to be honest, Brighton could have won that game. They had a couple of great chances. Danny Welbeck with one, getting a save out of Mendy. And I think it was Welbeck again who hit the post. They could have won it easily. But we got out of the game nil-nil. It was a decent result for us. Our next game was West Ham away. It was a massive game in quest for top four because West Ham this season have been playing superbly. They were in fourth position. They were in fifth position. We were in fourth position, and we somehow got a 1-0 win. Timo Werner scoring the all important goal to get that victory, which cemented our place in the top four. And things were looking very good for us. And we went on to beat Fulham 2-0. It was another very good performance, albeit we should have scored more again. And our next game was Man City away. This was a massive game. We just beaten them in the FA Cup semi-final, but this game was going to be tough. Both teams were coming off of tough Champions League games, the Champions League semi-finals, both of them winning it. So both teams made changes. We went down 1-0 in the first half through a Christensen mistake. He obviously had to go off injured. Before halftime, Man City had a penalty, and if they had scored that, then they would have made it 2-0. But I seriously don't know what the hell Sergio Aguero was thinking. He was thinking that, okay, I'm going to easily do this. Tries the Panenka one. Edouard Mendy is alert to the situation. He stands there and catches it by his left hand. And second half, we got a sigh of relief at that point. In the second half, we totally came and dominated the second half. We got the equalizer to Hakim Ziyech. It was a very important equalizer at the time. We did survive a strong penalty appeal, though, to Raheem Sterling. Fouled by Zuma at the back. For me, it was 50-50, but sometimes you do see them given. And right at the end, we snatched the 3 points through Marcos Alonso. Timo Werner, excellent work on the right-hand side, putting the ball in. And Hudson-Odoi and Alonso got in a bit of a tussle because both of them are trying to shoot, but eventually the ball looped up over Edison's head. And we had a fantastic 2-1 win. And we got into third position. And we were in prime position to secure top four, let alone get it. There were some brilliant performances in the second half. Pulisic was good. Hudson-Odoi, when he came on, he was absolutely brilliant. And then our next game was Arsenal at home. Arsenal has been a bogey team for the past few games. And Arsenal, they were really down in the table. They were down to 9th or 10th. And yeah, Charity FC strikes again. Arsenal won at Stamford Bridge through a horrendous error from the back line. I put it on Zuma and Jorginho and Kepa. Zuma decides to play the ball backward instead of going forward. Jorginho doesn't look up properly and doesn't see Kepa that is not in the goal. He tries to give a back pass, and Kepa is way off his line to get to that back pass. He somehow gets it, but by the time our defense can come and consolidate, Arsenal were able to score the 1-0, and they parked 20 buses and we couldn't break through them. We hit the post twice in about 30 seconds in the second half. We gave chance after chance, but we never managed to score. Berlino made some fantastic saves, but that was about it. And at that point, you were thinking, oh my God, this is the wrong time to reach this sort of form. Our next game was Leicester at home. We just come off them after losing in the FA Cup final, but we put in a superb performance in front of fans who were allowed for this game. We put in a super performance up until we conceded, and we did look as if we could concede the second. Jose Perez skying one in the 90th minute after some good work from Ricardo Pereira down the wing. I still don't know how that didn't go in, but it is what it is. We were fourth, and we were comfortably consolidating the fourth position. Our last game, we went into a last game against Aston Villa at Villa Park, knowing that a win or even a draw would secure top four. Well, we again, Charity FC, again. How many times do we do this? Charity FC. We lost the game 2-1. Ridiculously conceded goals. The first one from the corner. How Bertrand Traore is able to go through our defense and get on the end of it. It was a scuff shot. Mendy had to go out injured. Luckily for him, it didn't happen. That injury was prolonged in time for a Champions League final. But the second half, we huffed and puffed, but could never blow the house down. Another point, Liverpool were winning and also Leicester were winning. So that effectively meant that we were out of the reckoning for the top four. But Leicester bottled it like they did the season before. Tottenham able to get the 4-2 win. had with Gareth Bale scoring 2 goals at the end, Harry Kane providing some crucial assists, and we somehow stuck on to fourth position. And 2 years in a row now that we have finished fourth position. So league campaign, I feel it was pretty average given the way we had expected at the start that okay, we're gonna challenge for the title. And at Christmas and when we beat Leeds United, we were actually top of the table. So considering that, and after that we fell into ninth position, but somehow got to fourth position after that. But overall, this league campaign was pretty average in my expectation. And now finally we go on to the Champions League. This was the one which was looking good for us because we did have a decent group after finishing fourth last year. We were drawn against Sevilla, Rennes, and Krasnodar. We didn't start particularly well in the Champions League, drawing nil-nil at Sevilla. We could have lost that game. Krasnodar away, there were fans allowed in Russia at that point of time. We beat them 4-0. We then played against Rennes. We beat them 3-0 at home, but away leg was pretty tough. We scored in the first half to Hudson-Odoi. Second half they equalized, and then Giroud, of all people, snatching the winner in the 90th minute after Timo Werner missed another chance. Our next game was Sevilla away. If we won the game, we would have secured top spot in the group. We beat them 4-0 pretty comfortably. Olivier Giroud scoring all 4 goals, and everything was looking rosy for us. Last game, we knew we were top of the table, so we could probably rest a few players. That ended 1-1 against Krasnodar at home. Fans were allowed actually at that point at that time in the stadium, about 2,000 people. And we ended the group stage on top of the table. And round of 16, who did we face? Atletico Madrid. How our luck can favor us, Yeah. And Atletico Madrid at that point in time were flying high up in the league. And in the build-up to the Atletico Madrid game, we were having a horrendous December and January month. After which Roman Abramovich was like, nah, mate, I know you're a club legend and all, but we want results. And he pulled the trigger and he sacked Frank Lampard, a club legend, and appointed Thomas Tuchel, who would go on to do amazing things. We went to Atletico Madrid away, beat them 1-0, a fantastic overhead kick by Olivier Giroud, giving us a crucial away goal. Second leg at Stamford Bridge, comfortably sorted through. We were much the better side. 2-0 winners against Atletico Madrid at home. Hakim Ziyech put the goal in the first half, and second half, with his first touch of the game, bangs it into the bottom corner. Emerson in the breakaway goal. Suarez was silenced throughout the whole of 2 legs. He was deep inside Rudiger's pocket. Wow, Felix, another young talent, was silenced as well. In the round of the quarterfinals, we were drawn against FC Porto, who had beaten Juventus in the previous round. It was going to be a very, very tough assignment, but we managed to go through it. We beat them 2-0 in the first leg away from home, effectively managing the 2 away goals. Second leg, we lost 1-0 through an absolutely brilliant overhead kick. But it was too little too late for FC Porto as we somehow ground out the result and we advanced to the semi-finals for the first time since 2014. But we were knocked out by Atletico Madrid, of course. We faced Real Madrid in the semi-final, who had beaten Liverpool in the quarter-final, and it would be a wonderful game. First leg was away at Real Madrid. We got the crucial away goal. Christian Pulisic with a fantastic slither past the snake. And again, Timo Werner missing another chance. And before halftime, Benzema scoring an absolutely brilliant goal. That's all he needs. One chance, and that's it. He will score. And second half was kind of a dull, boring thing. 2 teams trying not to lose. It ended 1-1. Second leg was going to be crucial because if Madrid scored first, the pressure would be back on Chelsea. But we did score first through Timo Werner, who could not simply miss an open goal after some good work with Kante and Havertz. Second half, we absolutely peppered them chance after chance. But as the problem with Chelsea, as usual, is we never take our chances. The game should have been out of sight. And finally, we put the game beyond bet in the 85th minute when Mason Mount scored, and it was absolute scenes after that. Well-deserved 2-0 win. We went past Real Madrid 3-1 on aggregate, and that was it. We were going to our first ever Champions League final since 2012. Everything was building up to the Champions League final, but we were the underdogs, and weren't going into it with such good form because we lost to Arsenal, we lost to Leicester, and we lost to Aston Villa as well. Whereas Man City, on the other hand, are coming off of bashing Everton 5-0 at home in their last Premier League game. So it was going to be a tough performance from us. It had to take a it had to be a very good performance against the Pep Guardiola team, which we already beaten twice, but it was always going to be tough because it is City's first Champions League final, and Pep Guardiola hardly loses any final. But Chelsea came out all guns blazing, and we should have been at least 2-0 or 3-0 up in that first half. City, they made a gamble without playing a CDM, without playing a striker, playing with the false nine, and Chelsea took full advantage of it. We won the game 1-0. Second half, it was more of us sitting back and trying to counter them. Our defense was absolutely top class. We deserved the 1-0 win in the final, and we ended up being champions of Europe for the second time. Champions of Europe we are, and we go into next season holding all the aces, and we can basically sign whoever we want, depending on the transfer fee and the player, whoever he wants to join. There are talks of Lukaku and Harry Kane coming, but we have to see which deal actually goes through. Overall, the season has been emotional, has been draining, it has been a roller coaster, but that's what you get as a football fan. You enjoy the ups as much as the downs. And it has been another fantastic season for Chelsea Football Club as we ended European champions and in the top four. We play the UEFA Super Cup on August 11th. That will be a very good game to see. And obviously, we go into the Club World Cup semi-finals next season directly since we are the champions of Europe. Looking forward to next season. The season is done. I cannot wait for next season to start already. Hopefully, we get some good transfers going through. We all know Roman Abramovich. We all know how much we got this season from winning the Champions League. As much as making top four, you get that extra money so you can spend in the transfer market. It's been one hell of a season, guys. Once again, if you're new to this channel, please do leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. There will be more and more content coming up. This is only my first upload for today. Second upload is coming later regarding the player ratings. Thank you once again, guys. Let me know what did you think of this season and of the Chelsea.